When is the best time to buy a home? In Colorado Springs? Now? Or yesterday? But you already knew that. But what you want to know is timing wise. Like, are we coming up on home prices dropping sharply in Colorado Springs? Are the mortgage rates going to come down, allowing everybody to buy something that much more easily? Let's talk about it. The best time to buy a home in Colorado Springs, and generally anywhere, is in the fall. You still have a good amount of home sellers who are on the market at that time, and they are trying to sell those properties before Christmas. And when you get into the September, October timeframe, that's when it's a sweet spot for buyers typically, because there's enough home inventory still available, but they have more negotiating power with sellers who are looking to get sold before Christmas. Not a good time to buy would be May, June. And the reason for that is because now you're competing with all of these other buyers who have come into the market at the same time. If you came in February, March, maybe the beginning of April, not as many people are in the housing market looking to buy, so your competition is less. In the fall, your competition is less. During the summer, not the best time to buy, but that's just because of extra competition, which pushes prices up a bit for the summertime. Once you get down to fall and winter time, you don't necessarily have that competition, so you don't have to compete and outbid other buyers. But here's the other thing about Colorado Springs is that we're not really in that kind of a market anymore. I wouldn't call this a seller's market. I wouldn't call it a buyer's market yet. I would say we're just starting the balanced market. So we are coming up on about 4 months of inventory here in Colorado Springs. So when you have 4 to 6 months, that's a balanced market. That's enough homes on the market for people to choose from without feeling like they've got to compete. The market is such now that you do not have the advantage as the seller anymore. And part of what that looks like for you is that when you're listing your house for sale, you have got to have excellent photography. You've got to have 20, 30 or more pictures, depending on your square footage, that shows everything with a high quality fish angle lens. You've got aerial shots, you got floor plans, you got 3D tours. Are you doing all of that? Because if you're not presenting your property in the best light. When people are online, they're looking to buy homes, they're just scrolling through whatever website, and if the pictures don't look great, then why would you go see it? So when you have something that you stop and you look at those pictures and you go, oh wow, that's nice, that is what you're looking to do. Is people are not just going to come see your home just because you put it up on the market. You put a for sale sign up, you put it in the MLS. It's not a done deal. You have to market it. You had to market it before too, because why would somebody choose your property when they can choose that one that's 30K less and looks nicer in the pictures? So now that you don't even have that, you have about half of the buyer pool that you used to just even a year or two ago, because it's so unaffordable, at least here in Colorado Springs. The interest rates are hovering between, just under or over 7% right now. And I'm not a fortune teller. I can't tell you what the market is going to look like next year. You can make guesses. You can see what the economists are saying. And ultimately, it's just long-term home values do appreciate almost every year. And if you're going to point to something where they didn't, you have a very specific reason why they didn't. And because long-term home values appreciate, you're making money, you're making equity almost every year. Even if you had bought right before the 2008 crash, if you'd have just held on to that property, by 2012, you would have been probably about okay, maybe 2016. But if you'd held on to it beyond that, you'd have been making a killing. Anybody that bought here in 2018, 2019 is sitting on a bunch of equity. There's not a lot of supply here. Homes do not get built here fast enough. The demand is too great. The population is growing. Everybody wants to move here. Realtor.com just tagged Colorado Springs and Denver as 2 of the 10 cities that are expected to have an average house or property price of $1 million. So within the next 10 years. So think of it like that. Colorado Springs is just going to keep getting more and more expensive. And you've got to make at least $150,000 a year household to typically be able to afford most homes here at this point. So it's just become a wealthier person's game to buy property here. And so now what I see is the biggest reason that people will move from here is to be closer to their family. And it has really nothing to do with the interest rates. I mean, yes, I would love to be able to sell a property at a low interest rate and buy another one, or well, sell it at a high interest rate and buy one at a low interest rate. But you know, you got what you got here. So yeah, sell your property, but then you give up that sweet interest rate, and that locks in a lot of people who either bought during that 2018, 2019 timeframe, or they refinanced. And if you're thinking, oh, well, corporations are going to be the only ones who can afford to buy homes at this point if they keep going up in price. And like look at California. You know, I've got several people who have told me Colorado has become Cali-rado. And it just, I mean, it's the politics aside, the home prices are getting out of control, obviously, and will become another California here in terms of pricing. And that's wild to me that just a few years ago, I thought a $500,000 house here was just, oh my goodness, that was very expensive at the time. And now, you know, it's just, that's the average house price here now. It's like $530 something for the average house price and $470 for the median or sales price. So yeah, it got expensive here. And if you got in early, good. And if you didn't and you want to be in, you know it's just going to get more expensive because, again, who's left to buy these properties is either people with a lot more money, which brings in more people from other rich cities, or corporations. And if they buy those properties, guess what they're going to do? They're going to rent them out. And so it's either the opportunity looks to be now, or, you know, every day that you wait, it's just gets more expensive. And the only unknown that I have at this point is the new presidential administration. How is that going to change how home prices, home sales? Is it going to get better, worse? What is better, worse? So the last thing that I had read was Lawrence Yun, the chief economist with National Association of Realtors, had made some points about expecting home sales to increase 10 or 13% per year over the next 2 years, but then have mortgage rates, he predicted that they would be high 5s, low 6s, and they would just kind of hover there for a bit. And his reasoning was because the federal deficit has increased so much so that the Fed really does not seem to be in a position to where they should be lowering interest rates anymore, because they've got to make some of their debt back. And that may come across in other ways. We may see increases in taxes in different places in order to help make up for that deficit. But I am just a real estate agent in Colorado Springs. I am not an economist. I don't know all the details of how that works. I just know that it's my job to help people buy and sell houses in this Colorado Springs area. And I would love to do that and help you and work with you if that's something that you're looking for. Again, my name is Kevin James Bond with RE/MAX Real Estate Group. Any questions about when the best time to buy a house is, or any real estate related question, let me know down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.